Hey there. Yep, running a stream a little earlier than I normally would. Well, let's rephrase that. I'm running a stream out of my pattern. It is the time when I originally set up, or within a half hour or so of it. But it's not 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. or 6 a.m. or any weird time like that on the next day. We're just doing this at more or less the normal for the scheduled time, minus or plus a few minutes. Sorry about that. I was watching a video from one of the people I follow on YouTube about the Ukraine and Russia situations. He's focused mostly on what's happening in Russia and why the Ukraine war, or emergency action, or whatever Russia wants to call it, probably wasn't the wisest idea for them. All right. Roll 8 does turn on highlighting. And I've got a blue square down to the bottom that I can't move around. All right. Go ahead and grab a screenshot, do what you can. See if you can get this done before I do. Very possibly you can. I do know, however, that's going to be a 1. One of these 3 is going to be a 1. I've got 4 possibilities here. 2 possibilities here. 3 here. 4 here. All right. That's it for 1s then. 2s. I've got 2 on the board. Let me put 2 possibles here and here. Not a 1. Let's see. I've got 3 possibles there. 4 here. 4, 5 here. Everything's available here. Here I've got 4 possibles. So on we go to 3s. I've got several 3s on the board. Matter of fact, we get to fill in at least a couple. There's a 3 here. One of these 2 is going to be a 3. And one of this one's going to be a 3. So that turns that into a 3. And now all squares have 3s in them. None of the oh, my mistake. 1 square maybe has a 4 in it. Yep, 1 square with a 4 in it. Just looking around, I've got lots of squares that have 4 possibilities or 3 possibilities. Some with 5, lots with 5, a couple with 6, even a 7 possibility. So nothing really I can do with 4s right at the moment. 5s, we've got looks like 2 possibilities down here. 3 here. 4 here. 3 here. 2 possibilities here. And that's all I can do with 5s at the moment. Let's take a look at 6s. Got 3 of those on the board. Now I've got 4. Here we've got 2 possibilities. I've got 3 possibilities here. 2 possibilities here. 2 possibilities here. And that's going to do for 6s at the moment. We got 2 possible 7s here, which means 2 possible 7s here. Up here, 2 possible 7s, which means I get a 7 fill here. Let's see. Looks like I've got 3 possible 7s here and 4 possibles here. So not much more I can do with 7s yet. 8s, I've got a couple of possibilities. So we get 2 possibles here, 2 possibles here. 4 or 5 possibles there, 4 here, 3 here, 3 here. Okay. On to 9s. 3 on the board. This one's going to be a 9. That means one of these two will be a 9. Up here, I've got 3 possibilities. But because this one is blocked down here, that makes this into a 9. And I can now fill this in with a 4. There's another 4 on the board. Let's see. That leaves me with a 9 going in here. Oh, nope. I take that back. Possibly a 9 there, possibly a 9 there. Here we get 2 possibilities now. And I've got 3 possibilities here. All right, we filled a few things, so do we get anything useful out of it? Well, still have 3 possible ones here. I've got 2 possible ones here, 3 possible ones here, 4 possibles here, 3 possibles here, and 3 possible. We already stated there were 3 possibles there. All right, how about 2s? Well, this can't be a 2, so one of these 2 will be, one of these 2 will be. All right. Down here, this can't be a 2, and neither of these can be a 2, so we've got 2 possible 2s here. And let's see. Over here, I've got 4 possible 2s. I've got 5 possible 2s here. And 5 possibles there. All right, how about 3s now? 3s have a 1 in every square. So we can go to 4s. Well, we can now put in 2 possible 4s here. Okay, that can't be a 4. So I still have 4 possible 4s here. Although it looks more and more like I really should have 2 possible 4s here. I'm not going to make that mark yet. However, I can say with some assurance that this is going to be a 5. No, not a 5. 7, 8. 8 it looks like. Can't be a 4. Can't be a 7. Or 9. Or 5. A 1, a 6. A 2, or 3. And that leaves a 8. Okay, now that gets me 2 possibilities for an 8 here. We already have those 2 possibilities for an 8 there. And now we're down to 3 possibilities for an 8 here. And here. All right. But that's not where we were looking in it. What we were looking for initially. I'm trying to fill 4s. Okay. So one of these 2 are probably going to be a 4. I've got 4 possibilities for a 4 here. 3 possibles here. Well, we got these 2 7s, so what are the other ones I'm missing? Looks like 4 and 5. And not a lot of help with either of those. Okay, so how about 5s generally? Okay, we've got those 2. It's not helping me as much as I'd like. Hold it. That one can't be a 5, so one of these 2 is a 5. Narrows it down a little bit. And that means one of these 2 is a 5, because I've got a pair of 5s here as well as there, so these 2 couldn't be. This one couldn't be to begin with. This one can't be now because I've got 2 possibles that don't have others in their same squares. So that was a little bit of a boost. How about 6s? I've got several 6s now. One of those 2 is going to be a 6. One of those 2 is going to be a 6. Got 2 possibilities there and 3 there. Okay. 7s. 2 possibilities there. 2 there. Hey, this is going to be a 7. No, it's not going to be a 7. Oops. Got a 7. All right. And yep, that's it. That's going to do with 7s for the moment. 8s. I've got 3 possibilities above, 3 below, and 2 below over there, plus, well, that's not going to be an 8 now, so that's an 8. That means that's an 8, which means one of these 2 is an 8. Still doesn't help down here. I've still got 3 possibilities. But 2 possibilities there. So let's look at 9s now. See if we get anything better with that. Still have 2 possibilities in that top upper square. 1. Well, this can't be an 8. That can be a 9 though. I think that's what that was intended to be. I've got 4 possibilities for a 9 here. Two over here. 2 down here. Given there. 2 here. All right, let's fill in all the others that can populate these things. So this is going to be potentially one of these 2, or these 2 are going to be a 5. Here we got 1, 2, 3. One of these 2 will be a 4. One of these 3 is going to be a 4. We've got 1s. How about 2s? Several possibilities for 2s. 3. Everything's currently possible for a 4. 2 possibilities for 5. 2 possibilities for 6. 4 possibilities for 7. 8 and 9 are givens. So here we've got a 1. We get 4 possibilities for 2. Got a 3. several possibilities for 4. 5 is given. We've got 2 possibilities for 6. 3 possibilities for 7. Got an 8 on the board already, and those same 3 possibilities can be a 9. All right, over here we've got 1's blocked there, so we end up with 3 possible 1's. We've got 2's not blocked anywhere, so 5 possible 2's. A 3 on the board, 4's already marked, 5 on the board, 3 possible 6's. 7 and 8 are on the board already, as are a pair of 9's. Down here we've got 4 possible 1's, 4 possible 2's, different 4, 3 and a 4 already on the board, 3 possible 5's, 2 possible 6's that are already marked, a 7 marked or provided, and 3 possible 8's. Over here we now have the 2 possible 4's to add in. We'll make it 4 possible 4's, only because I'm reasonably sure it's not going to be 4 possible 4's, but I'm not certain. All right, in this square, we've got 3 possible 1's. We've got a pair of 2's that are possible. We've got 3 already given. Now, let's see, I've got 4 possible 4's. Let's see, I'm not seeing any constraints on 5's, but we did narrow the 5's down already. 6 is provided. 7 is going to be one of these 2, so that can't be a 1. That means an 8 is going to be one of these 2, and a 9 is on the board. So we got a 7 and a 5. That means this is going to be a 1. That's an 8, 2 now. 8, 9. 4, 9, 2, 4, 2. 5, 2, 5, 2 means that these can't be a 5. One of these 2 is going to be a 1. Get 8, 9 there. 4, 2 pair there. 4, 7, 4, 9, 4, 7, 9. 7, 4, 7, 5. 7, 4, 2, 4, 5, 2. Okay, 5, 2, 5, 2 means this is a 4. Makes this a 5, this a 7. That makes this a 5. This becomes an 8. This becomes a 1. This becomes a 7. 4, 2 pair means we are blocked. I got it blocked there as well. Is there something else that should be in here? Can't be a 1. 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So at least one of those is wrong. All right, backing out. At this stage, I might be tempted to go all the way to the beginning. However, let's not do that. Let's go back to this one. That still gives me the 4, 5 up the top. Let's force things a little bit here. Say this is a 7, this becomes a 5. And now this becomes a 4, and that's blocked. All right. I am going to restart. Counter continues. My timer does not reset with a reset here. And we are just going to do the fill process. And that has nothing to do with Phil Collins or any of a number of others that could be considered fill. Colson, filibuster. All right, so that's ones, twos. We've got 3 possible twos here. Threes. Threes we were able to completely fill last time, so let's go ahead and take care of that here as well. That means I've got just the ones to drop in here. Threes are now full. Full meaning that there is a 3 in every square. All right, I get to use the mouse. Maybe I can go back to using keyboard again. So possibly just that one square being recalcitrant. Not a 1. Not a 1. Okay. I think that's it for 5s. One of these two will be a 6. Three possibilities for that here. Two possibilities here. A fill here. Give me 2 possibilities down here. On to sevens. I've got two possible sevens here. They solve or fill for a 7 there. Three possible sevens here. Two here. Two here. Two eights here. I believe this ends up being an 8, but I don't have the guidance on that yet, so we've got four possible 8s here, three possible 8s here, three possible 8s here, and two possible 8s here. And into the 9s, we've got four possibles here, two possibles here, four possibles, or two possibles there. That means two possibles here, and it looks like I've got a 9 here. That makes this one an 8. This one, now we didn't get 9s dropped into the square. There's four possible 9s here for the moment. We'll see if that persists. Oh wait, no, two possible 9s. This one becomes a 1. We've got a 7-5 pair here. Seven, 4, 5, 4, 2, 7, or 4, 5, 2. All right, so since I've got either a 7-5 here or a 7-5 here, this is where I'm going to start playing try and swap. Go with the 7-5 here. And that turns that into a 7. Four, 5. Four, 5, 4, 2, 4, 5, 2, 4, 8, 1, 4, 8, 1, 4, 6, 4, 6. 4, 2, and 4, 2 makes this a 6, this a 1, not a, or this one a 5. What am I missing here? One of these doesn't have everything. We get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm going to go with this being a 7 for now. I really need to go, let's back that out and identify the two possible places where there can be a 7 here. There and there. Because apparently I couldn't be bothered to mark them initially. All right, and now let's go through that exercise again. That could be a 7 there. Four, 5, 4, 5, 4, 2, 4, 5, 2, 4, 6, 4, 1. Okay. All right, let's go with a 4 and a 5 here. See if we get anywhere with that. And we get a block down here. So let's try swapping the 4 and the 5. 5 and 4 this time. That gets me a 2 here, 5 here, 7 here, 4, 6, 1, 4, 6, 4, 8, 4, 8, 1. Over here we get a 2 and 8, 9, 2 here, 4, 9, 1, 8, 4, 1, 5 pair. We'll see if we need that in a little bit, or if we clean that up. For example, we got the 7 down here that we get to clean up the item with, a 9 as well, and there's our block. So we're going to have to go back further than the 4, 5. We'll try the 5, 7. Swap again. And this time we'll set that at a 5. This is a 7. And let's see. That doesn't help us up here this time. Here we go. We get a 4, 2, 4, 2. So neither 4 nor 2 here or here. That becomes a 1. This becomes a 5. 4, 2, 4, 2 here means this is a 6, 1, and 7. 4 here, 5, and 7. 2 here, 4, and now this becomes a 2. We got a 4, 8 pair here. And up there we've got a standalone 2. 5, 9, 6, 9, 5, 6 with a 1, 6 and a 1 on that first 5, 9. Here we get a 2. Does that help any? We get a 2 down here with a 9, 4, 8, and 2 here. And that gets me a block right there. So let's go back to that 7, 5 pair and we'll run with something else. Do we have another pair somewhere? The other option would be if we have something that's standalone. I got something that's standalone. 7 here. Oops. Not there. Here. There are no 7s that were in the rest of this column. Why were there no 7s in the rest of this column? Both of these potentially be a 7. Not as much of an issue down here, because these 2 are locking it up there, and these 2 are blocking here. Okay. I am not sure that significantly changes anything, but since it is a difference, let's run through the 5, 7 thing again. and see if we get anything useful out of this. Probably not, because that puts us in the state we were in earlier. Okay, well, let's not do that option. Let's switch them. 7 and 5. That gives me a 4, 7, 4, 7, 5, 4, 2. 4, 2, 4, 2 here. So that becomes a 7, 4, 5, and 7. This becomes a 2. Becomes a 4, 6, 1, and 5. 2 down here. 1. 4, 9 in 2 places, so that becomes a 7. This up here becomes an 8. 2, 1 here. 4, 9, 4, 9 means this is a 1, this is a 2, and this is in blank now. All right. So that 7, 5 option doesn't work. Can try the reverse, but I think that was one of those we ran into problems even earlier. But maybe we won't quite so early this time. Okay, here we got the 4, 2, 4, 2 again. So not a 4, not a 4, 7, 6, 1, and 5. 4 here, 7, and 4 here, 7 and 5. 2, 8, 4. 9, 9, 1, 4. 1, 5, 1, 5, 2, and 8. And this is where we run into that pair of 9s that can't be anything else, can they? I am missing an 8 from here. Okay. I didn't get the 8th place. So go back to that 7, 5 again. Let's see. That is an 8. And I've been missing it all along here. All right. Probably have somebody screaming at me about, hey, look at that over there. Are you missing it like crazy? Yes, I was. I fully own up to it. All right. Now let's see if we can do anything more. Okay. One thing I can do is clean up these 5s. They don't belong here with the 7, 5 pair here. That gives me a 4, 2 here. 4, 8, 4, 8, 1, 4, 1, 2. Eight, 2 here. 4, 2. 4, 2, 9. 4, 8, 9. 149, 48, 52, 45, 258. Okay, that's an 8. So now I got a 5-2 pair here, so that can't be a 5, that can't be a 5. This becomes a 4. So now I got a 7-5 pair here, but I don't have any 7s for it to block. All right. Oop. And now I've got an 8 down here, gives me a 1 here, 7-6 pair there, so this is a 5, this is a 7, this is a 5, this is a 7. 4-2 pair in, or triplet in here, that's not good. Okay, we are extending this again, starting over. Reset the puzzle. Start with counting from 9s. You can already see I've got a 9 going in here, because that one and that one set it up. The 6 block prevents me from putting a 9 in there. One of these two will be a 9. Got 4 possible 9s here. 4 possible 9s here. 3 possible 9s here. And 2 here. Okay, 8s. I've got 3 possible 8s here. 2 possible 8s here. 5 possible 8s here. 4 there. 3 here. 3 here. And a given in places where I don't have earmarks for 8s. All right. 7s. 4 possible 7s there. 4 possible 7s here. 3 possible 7s here. 2 possible 7s here. 4 possible 7s here. Actually 2, because these two block these 2. This one blocks these 2. 2 possible 7s here. And I believe that we now have 7s everywhere. That we should. 6s. We can solve a 6 here. One of these two will be a 6. One of these two is going to be a 6. I've got 4 possibilities here. 2 possibilities here. And that's it for 6s. 5s. We get 2 possible 5s here. That can't be a 5, that can't be a 5, so one of these two is going to be a 5. That will be a 5. I've got 3 possibilities here for 5. Up here, we've got 4 possibilities. 4 possibilities here. And the 2 marked in here already. Okay, on to 4s. Maybe I should save 4s for last. I need a lot of 4s to put in. Although we do have a couple of places where we know there will not be 4s. But we don't know that yet. Although I do know that neither of these can be a 4. So we are getting some advantage there. All right, 3s. One of these. Nope, that's not a 3. That's 3. All right. One of these 2 get to be a 3, and this one gets to be a 3. Means this is a 3. All right, 2s. All right, because one of these 2 is a 2, none of the others in the column can be a 2, including these 2. These 2 are blocked from being a 2 from up here. Means those 2 are the only 2 squares in this block square that can, or only 2 cells in this square that can be a 2. That probably was tripping me up earlier. Twos everywhere else, it looks like. Yes, they are. So we are down to 1s. Can't have a 1 here, so this is a 1. This is an 8. One of these 2 is a 1. 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 All right. We are back down to this one being an 8. Not a 5. 8. Which turns this into an 8. And now I've got 2 possibilities here. Anything else that I can quickly note as an 8? Nope. 3 possibilities down here and 2 possibilities here. This is the third one of that earlier block. Okay. Let's see. We got 7575. 1. That would get me 4848. This gets me 4242. See if I've got better solutions out here. One of the more interesting things I'm seeing is there's a lot of 7/4s out here that are not in a common area. Somewhat bothersome. Okay. All right. Let us punt with this here. Actually, let's start with this one. That turns this into a 7. 4949 pair there, so now I got a 2 and a 1 here. That gets me 496, 4946, 749, 7449. Okay. Not as useful as I'd kind of hope. All right, so let's flip that 1 back to a 4 and see that if that helps. Turn that into a 4. That becomes a 9, a 1, and a 7. I now have a 4-2 pair here, which means this is going to be a 4. 7-5 pair here, which means neither of these are going to be a 5, but they couldn't be anyway because there's 5-2 there. So 9, 8, 1. And that gets me a 2 here, a 4, and a 9. Let's see, anything else useful? Possibly. Yeah, nope. I was noticing the 2 here and none down here. I was thinking about jumping out, and nope, I got a 2 up there. All right. However, it's good to be looking for those things and making sure you check yourself. Ah, here we go. I got a 7-5 here and here. Okay, an 8 down here. That gives me a 1, 7, 6, 7, 6. That makes this into a 5, this into a 7. Down here we get a 5, 7, 4, 2, and that blows that. So we're going to have to try something other than 4 and 1 there. All right, let's come over here to the 5-2 and see if that helps. Go with the 2 first. That gets me a 4-5 pair, which is not a lot of help. However, if we start with that and go with the 4 here, that gets me a 1 and a 9 up here. No. 1 and a 7 up here. I didn't mark, nope. 1 and 7. 4, 9, 4, 9 pair here, so 2 and 1 here. We get the 5 over here. 7, 4 pair there. 7, 5, 7, 5 here now, so unfortunately it doesn't help me with all that much. Got a 7, 4, 7, 4 pair up here with an odd 7, 4 down here. And another one here. Like I said earlier, there are a bunch of 7/4s out here that kind of throw me at times. Five, 9, 1, 6, 9, 1, 6, 5, 6. And nothing restricting the 1s or the 6s, or, well, the 9s are a little bit restricted, but not in a way that I can use. Offhand. Well, let's go back up to the top, and we've got a 4, 9 to try. Do a 4 and a 9 here. That gets me a 6 here, 9 here. Does that help any? I'm not seeing a lot of help right now. Oh, we got a 1 here now. That turns that into a 6. 5 here, 9. 8, 5. 2. Let's undo that twice so that we don't lose that 2. 4 and 9. 7, 4, 7, 4 turns this into a 6. This becomes a 5, 2 here. 7, 4, 7, 4 turns that into a 1. 4, 8, 4, 8. Now we've got a 5 and 7 here. 4, 7, 4, 7. 4, 2, 7. 7, 9, 5, 4. 2, 6, 8. 2, 1, 8, and 4. 56 minutes for a hard puzzle. 56 minutes and 8 seconds, according to my clock. If you've been hanging out and chatting with me, my apologies for being a little bit distracted on that. I do hope you enjoyed the stream, and we'll look forward to checking in with you again soon. Have a great day, everybody, and take care. Bye-bye.